Today on the Lowdown, a Down syndrome podcast, Aaron Waddingham, Lucy McNulty, and Emma Pollard give us a lowdown on the making of their award-winning film Chicken. Over to you, Hannah Marla.
Thanks, Danielle. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lowdown podcast. My name is Hannah, and I'm joined by my most fabulous co-host, Marla. Hi, Marla. How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. Excited to have a few celebrities in our midst today.
I know.
It's going to be a good episode. So on today's episode, we will be shifting our focus towards Hollywood and the exciting world of filmmaking, but with an inclusive twist. So we are excited to welcome Emma Pollard to talk about her film Chicken, which stars multiple actors with Down syndrome, including DSRF's very own Aaron Waddingham. And Emma will also be joined by Lucy McNulty, who is a producer on the film. So just a little quick intro for our guest. Emma Pollard is a Vancouver-based filmmaker whose body of work includes award-winning web series and narrative short films, playing in festivals around the world, as well as music videos and behind-the-scenes documentaries featured by platforms such as Spotify, GQ, and Flood. Her most recent film, Chicken, is getting a lot of recognition in local film circuits. And I actually should maybe say award-winning film, Chicken. We'll hear about that a little bit. Our second guest today is going to be Lucy McNulty, who is an actor, writer, and producer based in Vancouver. Lucy's work can be seen on stage and in film, television, and voiceover. As an independent filmmaker, Lucy is dedicated to championing underrepresented communities in her work and inspired to tell female-driven stories that aren't afraid to show the shadow side. Love that. And then finally, last but not least, Aaron Waddingham is not only a DSRF student, but now an award-winning and emerging young actor with Down syndrome. His new movie, Chicken, is making the rounds in the film festivals in Canada, the US, and even Europe. For this role, Aaron won the award for Best Male Short Drama by the BC Leo Awards. Woo! Yes, Aaron. Aaron has a very distinct style and charm, good looks, and responds well to direction. His previous work includes commercials, PSAs, and corporate videos. Welcome to the Lowdown, Emma, Lucy, and Aaron. Thanks for joining us, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Great to be here.
So excited. Oh, yeah. How's it going, Aaron? You're excited?
I'm ready tonight.
All right.
You are pumped and ready to go. We love it. Okay, so in the grand tradition of the Lowdown podcast, we always like to start off with 5 secret questions. So we can kind of share the wealth and ask, Aaron, why don't I start with you? What sport would you compete in if you were in the Olympics?
Basketball.
Ooh.
Got a good jump shot?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Very fast-paced.
Yeah. Lucy or Emma, would you guys like to add on some sports that you would like to do if you were in the Olympics?
I have to be the least sporty person in the world, but
we can add that you'd be magically a professional.
Yeah, you would have to be really good at it. Yeah, that's good.
Cheerleading. I feel like I'm a cheerleader for a lot of people. I know that that's not really the same thing, but that's the connection I'm trying to make.
Lucy, I'm smarter there for you. I am a basketball guy. Try to cheerleader to me.
Perfect. I'll be your cheerleader. Easy.
Yeah.
Emma, what about you?
Oh gosh, I don't know if I could even add on to that. Maybe the cross country skiing triathlon thing where they do the cross country and then they shoot an arrow at the end.
Yeah. Love that.
Tell us your artists without telling us your artists.
Big. We go fast.
Sure. Okay, question number 2. What is your favorite breakfast food? Why don't we start with Lucy?
Oh, can't go. You know what? Speaking of chicken, can't go wrong with a couple of hard-boiled eggs.
So the egg does come first before the chicken in this case, I guess.
Debatable,
yeah.
Yeah. Depends if we've been doing night shoots.
Yes, that's true. Emma, what about you? Favorite breakfast food?
I'll switch it up, chicken and waffles.
Nah.
Oh.
Chicken theme going on. Aaron, what about you?
We're getting more jealous. Chicken, egg Benedict.
Ooh, chicken eggs Benedict. Interesting. Okay.
Major. All right.
Marla,
Let's
go for it.
do one more secret question so everyone gets to know you a little bit. Let's see. Okay, let's do Emma, what would be the first place you would like to go on vacation if budget were a non-issue, going wherever you want?
Oh man, I would love to visit Japan, and definitely budget is a hindrance to that, but I would love to visit Japan first.
Like city or countryside?
Both. I mean, yeah, if I could spend a lot of time there, but definitely the cities, but going out into the countryside, all of it. Yeah.
What about you, Aaron? First place you'd like to go on a vacation?
I want to go to Philippines.
Oh, the Philippines. What would bring you over there?
It is a nice beaches around, suntan all day long, got burned. And let's get in a hot tub.
Whoa.
Wow.
You're planning for sunburn? I don't know, man. Not in my vacation plan, but it does happen. Fair enough. And Lucy, last but not least, where would you go on vacation?
2 places come to mind. I really want to go to Austin, Texas, and I really want to go to the Amalfi Coast.
Ooh, very different places.
Very different. Yeah.
Austin has a really good food scene, I've heard.
I have never been, which is why I really want to go. I hear it's a really great city.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Well, let's dive right in here. My first question is for you, Emma. Can you tell us a bit about your short film, Chicken, for anybody who has no idea what we're talking about right now?
Sure. Well, Chicken comes from Lucy's mind completely.
Okay.
So Lucy wrote the script and approached me about co-directing the film. And the script was so strong and it was such a great idea and such a funny, heartwarming script. I loved it. I wanted to be on board right away. And we immediately started talking about, how we were going to actually make this a reality and how we would work to make the set comfortable for everyone. And that's kind of where it started for me, where I came on board. And I wonder maybe if actually Lucy would like to take it from the beginning, just because she really created the idea.
Sure. Where did the idea come from? Tell us all about it.
Absolutely. Okay. So the idea came from a few places. I would say one of my really dear friends who I've known since I was a kid, his name's now McNeil. He is an artist who lives with Down syndrome. So we've been friends for a number of years. And after I graduated from theater school, I joined his project, King Arthur's Night, as an artist support person. And then I was a part of that company. I became a performer in that show. Niall and I are also collaborators. We're writing a musical together. But one day we were hanging out. Niall calls me his sister, and he calls my parents his parents. He called my mom his afterbirth mom. So one day we were hanging out, and he was asking me questions about auditions and about film work. And he sort of expressed to me an interest in film and TV, which sort of planted the idea of creating something for us. Where we play brother and sister. This was like a dynamic that we had known for a very long time. And then a couple of other sources of inspiration, I would say a bad breakup sort of inspired this whole thing. And then when Niall was not able to do the short film for scheduling reasons, and I think he lost interest actually, I was connected with New World's lead ensemble, which is a learning ensemble across difference, where Aaron, Roxanne, and Jason were all participants. So when Niall couldn't do it, I already knew a bunch of other amazing actors. So I approached a few people. We had auditions. Aaron knocked it out of the park. And the rest is sort of history.
All right. Well, we've had Niall on this show, actually, I think it was last season. So that connection is really interesting to hear about. And films like this are really important for all viewers and all audiences, including viewers with Down syndrome. And can you talk to us a little bit about why and make films and that have this kind of representation and why that's so important?
Yeah, well, I will speak about, honestly, when we were doing King Arthur's Night, we were in Ottawa and we had a relaxed performance. So a relaxed performance, for people who don't know, just mean it's a little bit different in that the lights are up, the sound is not as intense, so that we can share the story with more people who normally that might be intense for. And there were a lot of people in the audience. The lights were up so I could see them. And I could see the expression on their faces, recognizing themselves on stage for probably the first time. And that was like a really, really profound moment for me. It was honestly hard to get through the first song on stage because there's just so much emotion. And I just feel that it's just real representation is really important. And again, that was this being connected to this wonderful world of disability art was sort of the inspiration, but making this film was like one of the greatest experiences of my life and continues to be so. Like it's absolutely I'm a very emotional person. I'll probably cry multiple times right now. I can feel it. But like honestly, like the Leos, like there have been so many moments on this journey with this film, with these people who I love, like Emma was saying, like just really amazing moments for community, and it just continues to be such a source of pride and gratitude in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with the oh, sorry.
No, I was just about to bounce it to you, so go ahead.
I agree with the representation. I feel is such an important thing, just in filmmaking, and that's what I look for when creating films: is, has this story been told before? Who is this for? Who can appreciate this? And just being on the other side of releasing the film, it was so amazing to create it and work with these people that I hadn't worked with before, and see them really show their amazing strengths in creating art. But being on the other side of this and getting to see the film get recognized in the broader film community has been so rewarding. Going to the Leos and being able to be there while Aaron won was just like the best feeling ever. And just shows how important it is to represent these stories, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, part of my research for this film was looking at other films with characters that have intellectual disabilities, and I really wanted to authentically represent someone in my script like the people that I knew, someone with intelligence and humor and compassion, who's not always perfect, who gets angry, who gets upset, who's kind of bratty, somebody who's really, really funny. And I think, I wrote the script as sort of a guideline. And we talked about this in the audition. We're like, okay, this is what this story is about. This is what's happening in the scene. But Aaron, I want to see you. I want you to bring yourself to the script and to the character. And Aaron was so successful at doing that, and a lot of his improvs made it into the film. And I mean, that's all you can ask for any actor. So it helped. It definitely helped knowing Aaron and some of the other actors before.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Emma, I'm wondering, you did mention that you hadn't worked with actors with Down syndrome before. Were there any surprises for you in that work process that came up?
I guess all the surprises were, I surprised myself with my kind of anticipation or maybe nervousness about how the set might be different, and would I be able to be there for them in the right ways? And once we got going, it became clear that it was the same as any other group of actors that I'd worked with. It's just about communication and trust. And Aaron is amazing at communicating and really fantastic at taking notes also, which was like just such a dream as a director to work with. And I think at first I was kind of maybe overly sensitive with Erin. Sometimes I would say, hey, like, I like what you're doing, but like, let's try and move it a different, and Erin would just go, I don't care. Let's move on. And I was like, oh, okay, yes, you're a professional. Let's go. Like, so the surprises were just kind of my own expectations being shifted, I guess, with the experience.
Mm-hmm. And I have one more question for the both of you here. And this is kind of intended for people who might be listening who are thinking, ooh, maybe I should start making a film. Maybe I have a project in the back of my mind. What kind of steps did you take to create a really inclusive environment for everybody on the set? Did you do anything different? Did you change anything? How did you help people succeed?
I would say, in terms of some of the things that we did to anticipate the film's needs, started right at script development. So there were a number of people that I had read the script and give me feedback. One of them was Niall. One of them was my friend Debbie Patterson, who works as a process dramaturg. And I took those notes and I implemented them. Another thing was, learning from my experience with the lead ensemble and with King Arthur's Night, and trying to bring Emma sort of up to speed and some of what that work is like. Having a lot of conversations with Erin about what the day might look like. Having conversations with Erin and Roxanne about what happens in the scene, about consent, just really communicating, like Emma said, communicating everything that was going to happen. I feel like sometimes on a film set, things are so fast and rushed and hectic. And we just didn't do that. We just, like, of course that happened, but it was like, okay, we have to think about what's happening tomorrow. So every night, ahead. Exactly. Yeah. So every night, like afterwards, we would Zoom with Erin or we tried to, and go over the lines, the dialogue for tomorrow. Erin also was working with a coach and had great support in his life, but it was just sort of, anticipating the needs and talking about it and, scheduling breaks. And one of the things we did was for one of the scenes, like there's a scene where we're in the car, we were reaching the end of the day. So we would do the wide shot with both of us. And then we did his coverage, and then Erin left and we filmed my coverage with a reader. So just little things like that, just like slight adjustments to make everybody comfortable.
And I think just having an openness on set as well. Lucy and I talked about this, with really like making it clear to the entire crew that, we needed to be able to adjust as necessary. If things changed, if feelings changed, if energy shifted, like we could take breaks, we could pause, we might have to end the day early. Like we were open to that potentially happening. And that being said, we were so productive in our relatively short film shoot. But just the idea that everyone had to be open to listen to everyone else's needs. And I think that attitude would be great on, any film set, right? Like it was a healthy work environment, or I hope it felt like that for everyone.
I think in an industry where, time is money and you have to be on a schedule, you can't, you don't have time to be flexible all the time. It's so great to hear that you made the space for your actors with Down syndrome. You had them in mind when you were creating the schedules. You asked for their input, because in a lot of spaces, decisions are made for them and not with them. So it's really great that was kind of top of mind for you, and in terms of how you filmed this movie. I was curious, how did the cast and crew members without Down syndrome respond to these adjustments? Like, did you see any benefits from having, a more diverse cast? Anything you've heard from other actors that they said that that's kind of something that's been eye-opening for them?
I think a lot of our crew, that message, like I was saying, of having this idea that we might, end the day early, I think, and we didn't really actually enact that ever. But I do wonder how it would feel if we had to do that. I think when the way film people work and sort of know the world is like, go, go, go. And of course we were trying to do that as well. It was like this balance basically the whole time. But I think everyone understood that and was open to it. It's really hard to get film people to slow down, actually, though, even if they understand that message. But I think, it benefited everybody on set. Because like I said, it was about being open to everyone's needs, whoever it was, right? And we just wanted to be in communication with everyone. And I don't know that I necessarily got notes from any of the crew members specifically about that, but I don't know, Lucy.
I have something to add, but I think Aaron wants to say something.
Yeah.
Remember the first happened, the first COVID scare?
Yeah.
Not to happen right here too. That is the first start. All this crew people had COVID. The first jump scare for the whole production, the movies.
Yeah.
Part of the shoot. That's why that happened.
I mean,
they lied in the scene, right?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
We had a COVID scare, and we took a break to kind of figure out, what the procedure was and what people felt comfortable doing. And it was really emotional because people were so excited to be back together, to be collaborating on this. And, we had like some immunocompromised people working with us. And so COVID was really scary. COVID is really scary. And there was such momentum and such love of this project that we took a half day and we heard from the whole crew. And I think almost every single person wanted to come back. And that was led by our immunocompromised people. And I feel like that really, really speaks to what was happening on set. And I know one of the crew people who came for the final day was like, I didn't feel like I was on a film set. I felt like I was at a party with all of your closest friends. And I feel like that was the vibe of the shoot. Like there were so many of our really dear childhood friends and our families, and like so much, again, help from the community, that it was a really, really fun place to be. Mm-hmm. And that was felt.
It's a testament to, and that's the thing, like with inclusion, like it's to be a truly inclusive space, it needs to be for everybody, right? So that's a battle that Marla and I as therapists have all the time, or conversation with schools and other inclusive spaces, that you don't have to cater to just our students with Down syndrome. Like you need to create a space that's inclusive for everybody, and they are being benefited from it too. So it's so great to hear that you had this camaraderie and familial feel, because and that Aaron and Roxanne and Jason were part of it and creating it. So what have you learned through your experience working with people with Down syndrome that would be helpful to employers in other fields? Because I would love to hear your perspective on how we can have more projects like these. Like, what does the movie industry have to do to employ more people with Down syndrome?
I would say invite people with Down syndrome into that conversation and ask them, like right from the get-go, what do you need? What do you like? What's not happening? Don't make decisions for other people. Yeah, right? Have people part of that conversation. If ask people how long they want to work, how long they could work, like what do they need? Do they need breaks every hour? Do they? I feel like I don't know, just people need to shift their expectations. And I think that involves with really just including people in this conversation. You never know if you don't ask. And
Mm-hmm. And I really liked what you said earlier about inclusion begins at the beginning of the process. And it's not an afterthought that you can apply kind of as a Band-Aid to be like, oh yeah, we forgot we should include some people. It's really from the very first steps of consulting with people who are going to be part of the project and that way you can adjust the whole scope of the project and everyone's expectations kind of in time with development. Makes a lot of sense.
Totally. And I mean, this is going to be the example because this is what we're talking about. But, text, how much text can you learn? What do you need to support you to learn this text? So, looking at other films with characters with Down syndrome, often they're less verbal or nonverbal. But in our film, I think Aaron has most of the dialogue. And for his audition, he learned this giant monologue. And that was like, we were just trying to gauge what will you do with this, right? But he learned the entire thing, but he didn't just learn it. He worked with his team, his parents and his coach. And Aaron, do you want to talk about some of the ways that you work and you learn your lines and what your process is? Because I think I have an idea, but I want to hear it from you.
Okay. So lines is the most important thing right here for scripts.
Mm-hmm.
I knew this acting back to 2019. The first one is acting coach Lane Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
He teach me how to memorize lines. It's hard to control. So we have to of course, I'm doing a speech therapist and this rest. So we have to take it slow, or just break it down, or just a couple lines, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally. I think every actor has a process and it's just sort of figuring out what that is. And so I know with Aaron, it means blowing up his text so it's really big and then separating it so it's thought by thought by thought, and then having keywords that bring him into that. And that, I'm sure, took a while with his coach and with his team to figure that out. But we all have our things. For me, I learn lines when I'm walking. You know what I mean? And it's just about taking the time to learn what systems work for you. And then for us, it's implementing that at the writing stage, which is okay, cool. So this word is hard for you to say. We're not going to write that. We're going to say something else. How would you say this? What does it sound like coming from your mouth? And just, asking those questions and then just being inclusive in terms of the entire process.
Go for it, Aaron.
Let's just shout out. You remember Casey, right? Or Cassie?
Mm-hmm.
The works in Digital, you remember this, right?
Yeah.
She helped me do the script for Chicken. So,
So you had both an acting coach and a speech therapist helping you work on how to break down your lines so that
recording reading because
and the reading.
This Danielle Fain, right?
And Danielle. Okay, and a reading teacher then to kind of work with you on make the delivery of your lines really smooth and easy for you.
Yes, exactly the same as Casey do. And Cassie, yeah.
Okay, so for other people who are new to acting like you were maybe in 2019, that's something they should think about maybe is who's on their team and who could be able to support them. That's good to know.
Emma, did you want to add anything about kind of what the film industry can do going forward? How can we have more of these projects out there?
I agree with Lucy. It's about being receptive to the people that you want to work with. If you want to be inclusive, start with them. Think about the stories that you can see coming from them, and then ask them and include them in the process. I mean, even from Aaron's audition, I started to see how much development this character had compared to my reading of it. And it just carried on from there. It was, about really letting Aaron and Roxanne bring their own interpretation and energy and talent to the project. And it was so rewarding. And I think, I don't know.
That's awesome. And I think Lucy had mentioned something earlier that, we want to also create diverse roles for actors with Down syndrome, right? They are a complex, just like everyone else. We need to tell different stories. So it can't always be the underdog overcoming story. It can be
Totally.
a million different other stories because they have a million different experiences. So I think that's kind of also important to remember that we have to, share their lived experience, but just make sure that it's, authentically them and it's a diverse group. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we at the DSR have been talking about this for a while. Like, when and how will we be able to see Chicken? Like, what is the next few months looking like? Like, is it going to be released? I'm super curious to find out about that.
Mhm.
There are some exciting updates.
Ooh.
Chicken is going to be playing at the Edmonton International Film Festival
Amazing.
at the end of
Awesome.
September.
That's exciting.
Oh, it's your hometown, Aaron.
I was
When
being
are we
here
going back?
yesterday. I went to Edmonton, so
Oh, jeepers. Okay.
And he's going back. He's going to be there for the film festival.
Awesome.
Cool. That'll be fun, Aaron.
We're also playing in a festival in Greece in November and also in Australia. So there are lots of festivals on the horizon. And also the Canadian Down Syndrome Society has come on as our title sponsor, and they're going to be doing an online screening in October.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Very exciting.
And we have a big announcement.
Oh my gosh, so many announcements.
The film is going to screen at DSRF's very own Down Syndrome Film Festival next March.
Whoa.
Woo!
That's so exciting.
Oh, I'm so excited.
The news people have been waiting for.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's great.
Now just the countdown begins. Excellent. Before we kind of shift our focus to Aaron, Emma and Lucy, thank you so much. But we were just curious, was there anything else you wanted to kind of share, kind of leave us with some notes? Or
I just want to say thank you so much for having us. We do have an Instagram page and also a website if you want to follow. We're Chicken the Short on Instagram, and we're chickenfilm.ca online. And that's how you can sort of follow our updates and see what's going on with the film.
Yeah. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for having us.
yeah, and we would love for you to stick around while we talk to Aaron as well, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys were able to. And yes, Aaron, did you want to plug your Instagram, buddy? I know you're pointing to yourself. Go for it.
yes, I'm part of it.
I know. What is your Instagram handle?
My name?
So Aaron Waddingham.
Yes, we've put it in the middle.
Excellent.
Oh, okay. With a period in the middle.
Period in the middle. Aaron Waddingham. Got it.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. Aaron, I have loads of questions for you about acting. You mentioned before that you started acting in 2019. And I'm wondering, why did you want to start with acting? You were in high school at the time, I think, right?
Yes, I went to in drama class in Burnaby North. That's why I first started being an actor. There's monologues, of course. Lucy said I use huge monologues.
Yeah.
Including in my school, Burnaby North, I just short monologues, like a minute long, right? So,
okay. So it sounds like you got your start in the same way that a lot of young actors get their start, which is just exposure and just getting the chance to take the drama class in high school, working on some monologues, some short stuff for a couple of minutes. Did you get to perform on stage in high school?
I don't know. It was since like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's ages ago now. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, you start when you're a kid. Oh, okay. Let me just go down my mom's Instagram. She's Stu Robbins, of course, her Instagram handle. My mom just posted the CTV news and from Edmonton. That's where first start begin of the thing happens, because I don't know what I'm doing in CTV, so in Edmonton. So they shot out at 2 girls and me. That's why I first start Edmonton. That's why I am in the role.
Oh, that was your first role.
Yeah.
Over in Edmonton. Okay. I gotcha. Okay. So that must have been quite a while ago.
I was scared. I was a kid. So
yeah.
I'm scared. Yes. I was a kid. I don't know what I'm doing. not just scared. Oh, it's just being noise, the plane noise.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine a lot of people feel like that when they're new on set because there's a lot of things going on and there's a lot of equipment, a lot of people rushing around. So I think that's pretty normal to feel pretty nervous your first time. Now, Erin, now that you've been doing it for 5 years or so, what would you say is your favorite thing about acting?
Well, I'm a model too, because I'm an actor and a model and an activist, right?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest role, because chicken is important, exceed one, but except for one for my sorry, it's my dog here. I do since in 2021, I did talk to Indian dicks with COVID-19.
Oh yeah.
We're on the
Okay.
news about that, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's my first big role to it.
Yeah. Some advocacy work that you were doing.
Yes, and the
Yes.
first one in 2019. Everybody knows that Nintendo, right?
Yeah. You were in a Nintendo commercial in 2019.
Yeah.
And you've also spoken with our health minister
Yes.
in 2021, doing some advocacy.
AKA my dad's work stuff. In it.
So
his boss worked for Indian dick stuff.
there you go. Would you say that your advocacy work was some of your favorite things that you've done so far?
Probably not, because
It's boring being on the news.
no.
You'd rather act and win awards. But Erin, can I ask? So I don't know if our audience knows, but you're also a really great improviser, right? So I think Erin's going to be appearing on another episode this season talking about improv. But I was just curious, is it one of the fun things about acting that you kind of get to experiment? You kind of get to make things up on the spot. Is that something you like about acting?
Yes, acting is actually called a physical touch.
Okay.
Is there anything that you think is really tough that's hard about acting?
Well, because I have, of course, this giraffe supports me. I am Down syndrome, so everybody knows that out there in the world, I am different. So sometimes my speech a little bit too fast or too slow or too slow. I don't lose control. Sometimes I forgot something. It's completely vanished.
Completely vanishes. Yeah. And I mean, I'm going to guess, I'm not an actor, so I have no idea, but I'm going to guess that everybody forgets lines from time to time. I think that happens. But it's interesting that you think that the hardest parts of being an actor are because that you have Down syndrome. I was going to wonder, do you find that long hours to be difficult? Because I think the days on set are quite long.
Sometimes
or do you just enjoy it?
Sometimes I have a dislocated kneecap, so it's hard to stand. So
I have one more question for you, and then Hina has some questions for you as well. And this question is about your attitude. So directors often say that you set the tone with your positive attitude. And I'm wondering, how do you stay sort of positive and upbeat, even though the days are long and tiring?
Well, I have to get used to it because it's a big a chicken is a huge exceed, but it's not a huge exceed of chicken. We have tons of movies out there in Hollywood, right? Or here. There's a lot of hours because example, I was doing Johnson doing his movies, 4 hours or 5 hours or 24 hours or days.
Yeah. So some really, really long days. And how do you like to stay positive? Do you listen to some good music? Do you have a snack? Do you try and rest when you can? What do you like to do?
Music. You remember the scene, Lucy? ECDC. You remember that one?
You throw down some AC/DC?
Yeah.
Pump it up?
Yeah. Right, Lucy?
Excellent.
Emma?
There was this one scene where the two of them were getting into character together. They were in a car together, and you guys threw on some AC/DC and really like pumped up the energy before we were rolling, and it was just this amazing way to boost in.
Yeah, AC/DC is a great way to kind of get into a positive mindset. It's a good choice, you guys. Erin, Emma was and Lucy were both saying earlier that you were very good at accepting feedback. So when they gave you some advice, you were really good about listening and kind of, changing your performance. What other things did Emma and Lucy do to help you be your best?
Best.
Other than playing AC/DC, that was a great.
Well, I said a badass chicken. Remember that line right here? That's our first improv, okay?
There we go. Okay. Yeah. So they allowed you to improv a little bit with your lines?
Sometimes, but in professional stuff, we never do that because we have to focus in the script, right?
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Okay. I've really been wanting to talk to you about this. So you recently won a Leo Award for your performance in Chicken.
Of course.
We all saw the video. Yeah, he's holding it up right now for our audience. We were very proud of you because we've known you for a while at the DSRF and we've been kind of following your journey and seeing you do these amazing things. How did it feel for you, Erin, to win the Leo Award?
Well, a little bit emotional state because my dad's sobbing, including
Your dad was sobbing.
Lucia trying to screaming across the universe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sounds like quite the scream.
Yeah.
Across the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you feel though, Erin, when you won the award?
Well, it's only for BC, so I'm good. But the biggest succeed Oscars.
I see where you're aiming. Okay.
Very
Yeah.
happy.
Absolutely. You should have that goal. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Leo Award is the first step, right? So that's great.
Yeah. But we'll have to be more respectful to this thing, okay?
You
We'll
gotta
have to be more respectful to this beautiful reward.
Yeah. Lucy and Emma, did you guys want to jump in and talk about what that experience was like for you?
I do want to add something about the screaming across the universe. But I think what Erin's talking about is there was this, I filmed him running up and accepting the award. And I sent the video to his mom. And after she was like, there's somebody screaming. Like, who is that? I was like, I have no idea. And then I watched it. I was like, oh, that's me. That is for sure me. But I feel like I had like an out of body experience. I had no memory, but I was just like, ah. And then my favorite was after Erin won, he gave this beautiful speech. And then I was nominated as well. And my award went up after. And I was crying from his win. And then I lost, but I was still crying. And his parents came and everybody was like giving me support. And I just... I love it because I probably looked like the worst loser in the world. I was just like, but I was so it was the best. And I was so happy for him. And that just, I just love it though.
I feel like Erin was the calmest of all of us in that moment. Like we were so surprised, so excited. All of us were screaming, I feel like. And Erin just sort of like was like, yep, stood up, walked directly to the stage, delivered this amazing speech. It was so great.
They started announcing his award and he's praying and he's crossing himself and his dad has his head on the table and his mom was like, he's not even religious. But we're all just like, please
do what you got to do. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's not actually Oscars, okay? Just leave it to next year. It's not like BC is Oscars, okay?
Yeah. Don't knock it. Don't knock it. It's a huge accomplishment. It's amazing. It's amazing.
You know what, Erin? Do you know of another actor with Down syndrome that's won a Leo Award? I don't think so. You were the first. So that's pretty huge, dude. That's pretty huge.
That is, but yes.
Yeah. But I like that you have Oscar goals. That's awesome.
Yes,
Um,
in the future, okay?
in the future, you bet. Yeah. We'll put it out there in the universe. That's always good. Aaron, I just have a couple more questions before we kind of end this episode. Do you have any other projects coming up?
Well, we can ask my mom. I don't know.
Okay. You gotta talk to your agent.
Yeah.
Okay. So people can maybe just follow you on Instagram to find out if you're going to be doing anything new soon. Does that sound okay?
It's weird stuff, but it's fine.
Okay. My last question is a big one, an important one. What is your advice for other people with Down syndrome that want to go into acting?
Nope, glasses are coming off.
Glasses are
It's
off.
getting serious.
Face. Okay, let's do this.
And most important with Down syndrome, we have to. I know it's funny stuff for Down syndrome because a little bit different out there. Sometimes Down syndrome, or sometimes a physical disabilities. It is hard with people with Down syndrome or physical disabilities. So, or of course, speaking of disabilities, we have an LGBTQ one, so it supports with gay people or all these types of genders.
Mhm.
I know it's hard. We have to. I'm used to it. We have to get used to it. The world, a world a bit messed up, but it's fine. We can pieces together, right?
Yeah.
So, first acting for advice with Down syndrome, most important, have a good day and don't get drunk, okay? Have fun.
Okay.
Keep focused. I got
a lot of really good pieces of advice in that. So you're saying that, for people with Down syndrome and other physical disabilities and people that are part of the LGBTQIA plus community, it can be hard. So we need to recognize that it's not easy, but that would you recommend that they don't give up? They should keep trying. And you said, don't get drunk, be professional. You said that before. So that's a great piece of advice. And to have fun. I mean, honestly, I think those are all beautiful.
Important for me is because I want to be done. I am a little bit a video game guy, so I have to focus in the game. It's not the same the movie, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a
We
good
have to
comparison.
focus. We don't focus. Everybody, the world is messed up. Come on.
Yeah.
We'll have a like Star Wars, right? Like light side, dark side. Come on. Dark sides are bad.
Yeah.
Light sides are good. Because light side, we have to be nice to people. But in dark side, you don't, because even more bad happens to you. You have health problems.
Yeah. Yeah. So embrace the force.
Yeah.
I got you. Awesome. That's great. I think that's the perfect way to end this. So we would love to thank you, Aaron, to Lucy and Emma for taking the time to chat with us today. I've been very inspired talking to you. I have high hopes that people will listen to this and more people will make space for people with Down syndrome in the movie industry and the music industry and all of those industries where we need more inclusion. So thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to see this movie when we get the chance. And come back again with your next project, Aaron. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, you guys.